What's up guys, Kenny here, aka Lexus 3IS, and today we're back with another video. I'll be showing y'all how to wire an amp and a sub together so we can get better audio. Show y'all what I got. I just picked up this Rockford Fosgate 500 watts amp. It's a mono amp. And then this is also a Kicker Comp VR subwoofer. It's a 12-inch with the ported box. And I have my wiring kit here. It's just from Amazon. I'm gonna leave the links in the description below. But it basically has a 4-gauge positive and negative wire, and then the RCA cables, remote wire, and inline fuse. And then to make it work in these modern cars without the RCA cables behind the radio, we have to add it on. So we do have to buy this, which is a LOC line out converter. There are different ones with multiple channels and stuff like that, but this was only like about 20 bucks. We're gonna get into the car and show y'all what we're doing first. Okay, so usually a line out converter would tap into the speakers that are on your left and right side on the top, but our rear speakers are actually in the doors because there's actually an 8-inch woofer right here, and then 2 smaller speakers that act like tweeters, I guess. I don't know what exactly they are, but for a cleaner install, we're gonna wire it straight to the amp, which is gonna be underneath this first aid kit here. You're just gonna want to remove everything here. Gonna lift this. I already removed the carpet and my cargo net. You're also gonna remove this styrofoam toolkit here, roadside tools, and there's gonna be a 10mm right underneath this. We're gonna have to pop this plastic trim with the flathead right here. You just want to wedge it in right here, pop it up, and there's a 10mm. So let me get my 10mm real quick to remove this, and then we'll pop this cover panel up. It should come out like this. It's probably popped in. Okay, there we go. So yeah, this is the factory amp, and basically all the speaker wire goes in here. To get more access, I removed the cargo net mount here, and then untwisted this cargo net mount here. Took off some of these plastic pieces that hold the liner in, and folding the liner in like this, I'm gonna unbolt the amp. 10mm right here, and 10mm right there. And this is the amp right here, guys. This is what you're gonna look at if you have it positioned like me. The angle bracket, this is the front, that was right here. So we're gonna tap into the subwoofer wires before it hits the amp. So the positive and negative we're gonna jump from is the sub pin, which is right here. And that's gonna be pin 6, which is gray. So we're counting from the left side. I don't know if you can see, but that sky blue is the first one right here. So 1, the blank one is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So not this last gray one, but the one right before it right there is pin 6. And then that's the positive for the subwoofer. And the negative, we're gonna go to pin 21. So you count all the way down, all the way over, and 21 is directly in front of it, which is the sky blue one. So the sky blue one and the gray one right next to each other. Sky blue is negative, and the positive is the gray one. They're both right next to each other, and we'll put T-taps in there, and we'll wire our line out converter to this part. I'm gonna use T-taps. I'm gonna clamp these onto the blue and gray wire that I showed y'all, and then we're gonna use this end for the line out converter and parallel them together so they can get signals from there. And then we also need a remote wire, which is the wire that sends a signal to turn on the amp and to turn off, which will be on this smaller pin right here. It's gonna be this very corner one that's brown right here, and we're also gonna T-tap that one in. Right now I'm at T-taps here, and then T-tap here, and then we'll wire it to the line out converter. And then we're gonna add one to the gray one right next to it, remember? Pin number 6, pin number 21. Do the same thing for the brown one here. There we go. So now we got all our T-taps installed. This is the line out converter. There's 2 different channels on here. This is one set right here. This gray and gray with the black stripe. And this is another right here, white, and then white with the black stripe. And these are basically positive and negatives, left and right speakers. So right now I'm just gonna merge the 2 negatives together and then the 2 positives together. So like I said, I'm gonna run them parallel. So I'm gonna have these 2 ones with the stripes together, twisted together, so they'll receive the same signal. So they're both with stripes, and then these 2 solid ones. I'm gonna leave the black and yellow by itself. Twist them together. Then basically we're adding this little T right through it and then crimping it. Give it a nice tug so it's not moving anywhere, just like that. And then we're also gonna do it to the negative also right here. And now we just basically plug everything together. So remember, the gray is the positive, so we're gonna line up the gray positive. Positive is the one without the black stripe on it. And we're gonna make sure this is nice and centered and plug that in. Gray with the no stripes. Then this other one has a stripe which is negative, so we're gonna plug that one in. And make sure these connections are snug, just push them in all the way and they'll bite. Okay, so now we have the remote wire, which is this connector right here, and that goes from the amp to this, so we're gonna need to get the amp real quick. And what I'm doing is I stripped about 1 inch off of here so that we have more connection to grab, and I'm gonna bend it in half so it's thicker, and then we're gonna just twist it like so. It's a better connection to grab here, just like that, so it's about 1 centimeter long. And then I'm gonna put it inside here, just like that. It's on. You just want to give it a little tug so it doesn't move but not rip it. You don't want to tighten it down all the way because it will cut the wire if you keep twisting it, but just enough so it's not loose. And then on the other end of this blue wire, we're gonna connect it to receive signal. Basically, we're connecting it to this piece because it receives 12 volts whenever the car's on and 0 whenever we turn it off. Whenever we turn it on, we want our speakers to work, and whenever we turn it off, we want our amp to turn off so we don't drain the battery. And just like the other one, I'm gonna splice about that much off and use a T-tap on it, about this much. Rip it. We're gonna bend it in half, twist it up, put it through the T-tap here, crimp it down. Basically, we're almost done here. We're supposed to plug this in right here, but now I'm gonna do the power part for it, so the ground and the positive wire. It's gonna come bundled up like this. We're gonna take it out. First, we're gonna run this blue cable, which is the power, the positive. It's gonna run from the battery, so from the front of the car, under the plastic grommets, all the way to this amp, the aftermarket amp. And it also comes with the inline fuse. This is for if there's too much power sent, it's gonna pop the fuse in the line, so it won't send all the power through this line and pop your amp or blow your sub, anything like that. So yeah, what's recommended is we install this line on about 12 to 18 inches away from the battery. Here's the end that's connected to the battery, and then I'll just add this right here. I'm just gonna guess and cut a foot off. I'm gonna cut it right here. I don't know what can cut this, so I'm just using like shears. Hopefully it works. It did work. Alright, so we have a foot off right here. We're gonna untwist both of these ends here. They're basically like locking caps for this. Twist that there, and then we're gonna need our Allen key to loosen that because there's a locker in there also. So we're gonna lock the copper into here. There's a little plastic rubber piece in there. Just gonna take it out. It's just a space holder. I'm just gonna cut off like 1 centimeter or half a centimeter off right now. Just cutting off this much here. So we can see the copper being exposed in there. We just plugged it in just like that. And then we're gonna thread it down so it locks into place. Then feed this plastic piece back through to thread it on, and now we'll do the same thing to this side. So just like that, we made an inline fuse. We're gonna need to add the little connectors for the battery so it's cleaner. Pinch both sides, and then slip this red sleeve over. Clean. So basically the battery is right here in the front, and we're gonna wire the power cable hidden through the car, so we're gonna have to lift this kick panel right here. So we just pop it up, rip it up right here. Sorry, it got dark, guys. I started filming at sunset and it got dark. Just pull it up, it won't break. It's just gonna make some bone cracking noises, but there we go. I already have some cables running through here because this is from my Starlight video, but we're just gonna be organizing it under here also. You can't see, but there's another kick panel right up here. This also rips off like so. I'm just pulling off all the plastics. Panel right here with the LED light, it just pulls down from right here, and this pulls outwards. Basically what we're trying to access is that little rubber, that wire right there with all the rainbows directly in the middle. We're gonna punch through the blue power cable through there, because if you come to the top right here, that rubber right there. Okay, so I'm trying my best to show y'all, but I'm feeding it through the firewall right there, which there's an access point. I want to put it in the middle, but it's not working out because I can't stab a hole through it unless I move the battery. So I'm just going like at an open spot right there and then try to seal it off as best as I can. So right now I'm gonna go to the other side and pull it through. Okay, so all the wire is pulled through, and basically it's just wire organization straight to the back. So we popped up this, and now we're gonna pop up this kick panel, which is the same as the front, and it's gonna go straight to the trunk. I'm gonna show y'all the front again. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody knows this part. It's basically just the positive going to the battery and then the inline fuse. and then there's the little grommet right there. There's a little light showing through, and I can cut the grommet so it can be sealed even more. I'm not gonna wire it yet because that means the wire will be live. There. Just like that. And we keep going straight to the back of the car. Now this is the weird part. There's gonna be a tight spot we're gonna have to get through. I'm gonna feed it up through here, this piece, under between this gapping right here, and that can go straight to the back of the car. Okay, so there, follow the blue wire there. It's going through here. I just pushed it and it came out through here, this spot where the crack is right there, and I fed it down coming out of there straight to the trunk. And now we could put all this plastic trim back where it belongs, and I already did the front right there, so it looks nice and clean. Okay, so I finished the install off camera because the battery died and I let it charge. Real quick, I'm gonna run down what I did. Basically, the amp gets grounded with the black wire. Let me go to the other side. The black one is a ground wire, so it just gets grounded to one of the bolts that's touching metal. I'll show you on that side. The remote wire is the middle blue skinny wire. Like I said, that one's tapped into the brown wire on the amp. This positive wire runs all the way to the battery. There's gonna be the speaker wires, plus and minus, goes to the sub, plus and minus. That's pretty easy. And then you have your RCA cables, which is left and right channels, and they match up to the line out converter on the amp that we tapped into, and that's all that's on the amp. And as you can see, there's no light on it, so that means it's powered off. And I already hooked everything up to the battery. I'll show you all that right now. So this is what I have on the battery. Like I said, we ran through the grommet, through the firewall right there, and then all it gets hooked up to is the positive terminal on the battery. And basically my ground is running through this liner right here. One right here. I grounded it to an existing bolt that has already existing ground. If there's any questions, please just leave it in the comments below. I know I did this video kind of late at night, so it's kind of hard to see, but right now I'm just gonna bolt everything back up and seal it off, and then we'll show y'all the results. Okay, another thing is we didn't use these black, yellow, and blue wires, so I like wrapped each one of them with electrical tape, and I combined all of them together so they don't loosen up over time and touch anything, make a contact. So yeah, we didn't use any of these. We just used the gray wires and the white wires, and then the RCA cables. And now we're gonna bolt back down the amp, tuck this away, and then do some wire management. I got everything put back together and cleaned up, and the car's on. I'm playing an instrumental right now to show you that it works. Amp turns on whenever I turn on the car, and it turns off whenever I turn it off. I mounted the amp to the box because one, my ground isn't long enough, and second, I don't want to drill any holes into the seats. It's not ideal or best to mount it to the box because it vibrates, but I mounted it and it's not shaking at all. And the connections are pretty solid on there also. Let's change the song real quick. Don't want to bother my neighbors either. There we go. Sorry that was at night and the lighting was terrible and my wires were everywhere, but hopefully y'all got understanding on what to wire to. If you don't have Mark Levinson, that's gonna be how you're wiring it in a 3IS or basically any IS. You just need to find which wires to tap into. I chose the subwoofer at the amp. You can even do the subwoofer itself with the positive and negative terminals. You could tap through there, or even if you have speakers on the rear deck, just like the Civic, you could tap out on these two. But basically, on my line out converter, I had two channels. I just twisted them together like you saw in the beginning of the video. Both channels will run off that stock subwoofer signal line. So yeah, if that makes sense. I don't even know, but glad it worked. That was my first time installing subs by myself. I used to go to like Car Toys and get it installed after like taking apart my old car for audio and the head unit. When I took that apart, I just saw how easy it was using a line out converter. So yeah, all the parts I used in the video will be linked in the description below. Hopefully y'all like the results. Pretty decent job. It's just time consuming tearing apart the trunk and stuff like that. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.